Rain fell in a thin, steady curtain the morning they buried Daniel Harper. The sky was the color of old ash, heavy and unmoving, as if even it struggled to let go. 8-year-old Lily stood between rows of black coats and bowed heads. Her small hand wrapped around a single white rose. It was too big for her fingers. Everything felt too big. She kept staring at the wooden casket, as if waiting for it to open, as if her father might sit up, brush off his suit, and wink at her the way he used to after pretending to lose at chess. "You almost had me, lily pad," he would say, tapping her nose. No, there was no wink, no warm hand resting on her shoulder, just the hollow thud of dirt striking wood. Beside her stood Vanessa, her stepmother, face perfectly made, lips pressed into a thin line that never trembled. When the last prayer ended and the crowd began to disperse, Vanessa leaned down slightly. "Stay close," she whispered, not tenderly but sharply, like a command. Lily nodded. She had learned quickly that silence was safer. The house felt different when they returned. It had once smelled like coffee and sawdust and the cinnamon, candles her father loved. Now it smelled like expensive perfume and something colder, like a hotel room no one truly lived in. That evening, Lily sat on the edge of her bed, clutching her stuffed rabbit. Through the half-open door, she heard Vanessa's voice in the living room. "Yes, everything is in my name now," Vanessa said into the phone. "The house, the accounts, he made sure of it." There was a pause, then a short laugh. "The child. I'll handle her." Lily's chest tightened. She didn't fully understand the words, but she understood the tone. The next morning, Vanessa stood in the doorway of Lily's room, holding a small suitcase. "Pack your things," she said. Lily blinked. "Are we going somewhere?" "You are," Vanessa replied. "You'll stay with friends for a while." "I want to stay here," Lily whispered. "Daddy said this is my home." Vanessa's eyes hardened. "Your father is gone. And this house is mine. I can't take care of you the way you need." "I don't need much," Lily said quickly, panic rising in her throat. "I can be quiet. I can help." Vanessa set the suitcase on the bed. "You have 1 hour." The world blurred after that. Lily folded her tiny sweaters with shaking hands. She slipped her father's old wristwatch into her pocket. The one he'd stopped wearing when it broke, but never threw away. It still smelled faintly of him. An hour later, she stood on the front steps with her suitcase at her feet. The rain had returned, colder now, soaking through her thin jacket. Vanessa locked the door behind her. "I'll call someone to pick you up," she said, not meeting Lily's eyes. "Wait here." The door clicked shut. Lily waited. Cars passed, tires hissing on wet pavement. Neighbors peeked through curtains but did not step outside. Minutes stretched into an hour. The rain soaked her hair, plastered it to her cheeks. Her fingers turned numb around the handle of her suitcase. She thought of her father's laugh, of his strong arms lifting her high above his head. He had always told her she was brave. "You have my heart, lily pad," he would say. "And that means you have my strength." Her teeth chattered. Brave didn't feel like this. A sleek black car turned onto the street, moving slowly, deliberately. It stopped in front of the house. The engine idled for a moment before the driver's door opened. A tall man stepped out, umbrella in hand. His suit was dark, tailored, the kind Lily had seen her father wear to important meetings. His hair was streaked with silver, his expression unreadable. He approached her carefully, as if she were something fragile. "Are you Lily Harper?" he asked gently. She nodded, too cold to speak. "My name is Jonathan Reed," he said. "I was your father's business partner, and his friend." At the word friend, something flickered inside her. "He talked about you constantly," Jonathan continued. "Said you were the best thing he ever did." Lily's lip trembled. "He's gone." Jonathan's jaw tightened slightly. "I know." The front door opened abruptly. Vanessa stepped out, irritation flashing across her face. "Can I help you?" she asked. Jonathan straightened. "I believe you already have. I'm here for Lily." Vanessa crossed her arms. "She's not your responsibility." "Actually," Jonathan said calmly, reaching into his coat pocket, "she is." He handed her a folder. Papers rustled in the rain. "Daniel updated his will 6 months ago," Jonathan continued. "He created a trust for Lily. The house, the majority of his assets, all secured in her name until she turns 21. I was appointed legal guardian in the event of his death." Vanessa's face drained of color. "That's not possible." "He told me—" "He told you what you needed to hear," Jonathan said quietly. "But he protected his daughter." Lily stared between them, heart pounding. "You can't just take her," Vanessa snapped. Jonathan's voice softened, but his eyes did not. "I'm not taking her. I'm bringing her home." Something shifted in the air. Power changed hands without a single raised voice. Vanessa stepped back, speechless. Jonathan turned to Lily and knelt so they were eye level. Rain dotted his shoulders, but he didn't seem to notice. "You don't have to stand in the rain anymore," he said gently. "Your father trusted me to look after you. I intend to honor that." "Why?" Lily whispered. "You're rich. You don't need me." Jonathan's eyes glistened. "No," he said softly. "But I needed your father once. He believed in me when I had nothing. He said real wealth isn't what you keep, it's what you protect." He held out his hand. Lily hesitated only a second before placing her small, freezing hand into his warm one. The car door closed behind her with a solid, reassuring sound. As they drove away, she looked back at the house. Vanessa stood on the steps, shrinking in the distance. Jonathan handed Lily a thick blanket from the back seat. "We're going somewhere safe," he said. "Somewhere your father loved." They drove out of the city, past grey buildings and crowded streets, toward rolling hills touched with mist. The estate they arrived at wasn't flashy. It was wide and welcoming, with a porch that wrapped around like open arms. Inside, the air smelled of wood and fresh bread. "I used to bring your father here when we needed to think," Jonathan said as they stepped in. "He'd sit by the fireplace and talk about you for hours." Lily clutched the broken watch in her pocket. "Did he say I was brave?" Jonathan smiled softly. "He said you were stronger than you know." That night, for the first time since the funeral, Lily slept without waking in panic. The house creaked gently, like it was breathing. She dreamed of her father, standing in a field of sunlight, watching her without worry. Years later, people would look at Lily Harper and see confidence, intelligence, quiet strength. They would see the young woman who rebuilt her father's company with compassion at its core, who funded shelters for children with nowhere to go, who never ignored a child standing alone in the rain. They would call her lucky, but Lily would always remember the cold sting of water on her skin, the sound of a door locking behind her, and the moment a stranger kept a promise her father had made in secret. She would remember that love can outlive betrayal, that true wealth protects the vulnerable, and that sometimes, when the world pushes you out into the storm, someone who believes in you is already on the way.